Everybody, we are back. It is Taped Online, your favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. You see it up there. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also, you guys know what to do. Follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL, at BD Williams 18 for BD, and of course, pandasubs.com. pandasubs.com. Use discount code TDL. 35% off. Like I said, go ahead, guys. Get in that good shape, right? Even though, it is wintertime, we're wearing bigger clothes. Still, you never know. You never know. You might have to show them guns. So hit the gym. Let's do that. Use pandasubs.com. Use those protein shakes and get there. All right, BD. So the Raiders are trying to not go 0-4. Trying not to go 0-4 this past game. After this past loss to the Tennessee Titans, got the Denver Broncos coming in. It's going to be a AFC West matchup. It's not going to be a blowout or anything. I don't know if people expect that, but I think it's going to be a tough fought game for them. They're going to have to try to. They're going to have to pull out a close one, in my opinion, unless the Broncos don't come at all. So, what are your thoughts, BD?
I mean, going over this offense, I expected to see because the way that people are talking about Russell Wilson right now, the way they're talking about the Broncos, I expected to see an offense that really didn't know what's happening. You know what I mean? And there's definitely elements where they're predictable. Don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but Russell Wilson is definitely playing way better than everyone else around him right now. He's hitting guys, they're dropping all these passes. Jerry Jeudy is dropping every single pass that gets thrown to him. It's crazy. He cannot hang on to anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, man, he gets so many targets and they're just bouncing off his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Guys are every time it's contested, he just drops it. He needs to go to a sports psychologist right now. It's something mental for him for sure.
Yeah.
Right, but he's not the only guy that's dropping passes. So knowing the Raiders' luck, right? This is gonna be the one week where it all clicks for them and they explode on offense. But they definitely left tons of points on the table in their previous matchups, and really, some of these games, a couple of these games where they lost, I could definitely see if some of these drives where they're having huge downfield passes clang off these guys' hands, that could have ended in a different result for them.
Yeah, I would say defensively they're strong up front. They're pretty good against the run. The Texans were able to run against them, but the Niners, that's what they lean on, they were not able to run against them at all. They really struggled, and they were really able to hold the Niners down. And the Niners had one big run from Jeff Wilson, but other than that, they were able to control them. But the Texans were able to run the ball on them. They just couldn't pass on them, and that was more on the quarterback. I thought the Niners were able to pass on them more, but the Niners are so lean. They lean on the run game so much that it was kind of, they're in third and longs and stuff like that. And then Jimmy G was able to get it done against this pass rush, especially after they lost Trent Williams. But, we don't have Trent Williams at all. Cole Miller's a good left tackle, but he's not Trent Williams. But he's also not the backup that was getting killed by Randy Gregory. So, across the board, inside is what I'm more worried about. I think DJ Jones, whoever's playing center, if it's Andre James, if it's Dylan Parham, they're gonna have some issues with DJ. DJ is definitely a great player, and of course in the secondary is Patrick Surtain. But other than that, I think if they can find ways to get Derek Carr time, I think he could find ways to beat them inside. They're pretty weak inside. Their linebackers can't cover very well. So there's definitely a lot to expose inside there. I hope to try to get some running backs going. Hopefully they watch some tape and get some Amir Abdullah going against some of these linebackers, because they can't cover. They can't cover at all, especially Josie Jewell. Josie Jewell could play the run like hell. The dude is a monster playing the run, but put him in some space, I'm going to show you guys. So definitely part of my breakdown is attacking him and attacking a different parts of the field. So
okay, cool.
Yeah.
So real quick, where are you right now? You got a little different.
I'm in Las Vegas. So if anybody's out in Las Vegas, wants to see me at the game tomorrow, I'm gonna be in the press box though. We're giving this little TDL coverage, little press box. I'm probably do some media stuff inside the locker room too. So maybe we got get you guys some live, um, quotes and stuff like that put on the channel. So hope you guys enjoy some of that stuff we're going to be doing. Expanding, different stuff than other different channels out here. So hopefully we get some good news and get some good questions. And hopefully it's a positive locker room that I enter. So, and not a negative one as we're hoping for. So, yeah.
Okay, there we go. There we go. You heard it first here live on TDL. Marcus with the exclusive access here
Yeah.
on site in Vegas here for this upcoming game.
Yeah.
Um, what other channels give you that? All right, hats off here to Marcus.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I'm gonna try not to step on the shield. I don't want to do any push-ups. So
Oh yeah.
I gotta remember that.
You
I
know,
gotta
you
stay
already know.
focused.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah,
stay
yeah.
focused. I can't disrespect the shield. So if you see me online doing push-ups, guys, just go with it. Marcus messed up.
No,
So
no, 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 no. You're not gonna mess that up.
all right, man. So you want to start with some Russell Wilson? People love offense. So you maybe start with some Russ.
Yeah,
Show him
let's do
some
it.
stuff. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna get into Russell Wilson. Okay, but first, I'm gonna get into their run game. Okay, they have a couple tendencies. First and foremost, okay, we check out where the tight end is. This is the run strength, right? This is where you got an extra blocker. Now check where the run is going. It goes away from that blocker. They like to run to the weak side of the formation. Here we go. We got a guy in motion. Okay, we got two guys on the wing, two tight ends away from, and where do we run away from it, right? So they like to run away. It's a huge tendency of theirs. Okay, again, two tight ends to the strong side. We can keep on running these. Run to the action away, run duo away from the two tight ends. Okay, and here's the last one here. Notice they like to run this toss. This is probably their most most commonly used run play right here is tossing out wide, weak side, away from the tight end. So that's a big tendency of theirs. Why do they like to do this? Here, I'm just gonna run it through. I think we got a few of these. Okay, so we see they like to do this. Okay, so why do
Mm-hmm.
they like to do this? Well, they have a couple of tricks up their sleeve. First is notice again, this is the weak side of the formation away from the tight ends. They will run a little counter action backfield. You notice how Russell Wilson is opening up to the weak side. Back is stepping to the weak side. This is a counter back here where the two tight ends are extra blockers. Okay, they've had success with this play. They run it every single game. Okay, here's two examples from their game against Seattle again. Just making sure everyone's on the same page. Two tight ends. This is the run strength. We are opening up away from the run strength, showing that we're running to the weak side, but then we're going to come back to the strong side. So again, this is one little trick that they have up their sleeve. The other trick that they have up their sleeve is they like to run play action, okay, now to the weak side of the formation. Okay, and so what we're going to get here is a little boot action and a little check release from the tight end who's now on that strong side of the formation. He's there for Russell Wilson to be an outlet. They love playing with their tight ends in the play action game. Here's another one opening up to the weak side of the formation. Tight end comes back around. They're just going to hit him for easy, little quick, chunk yard plays, easy touches for the offense to complete. Here's another one. Again, two tight ends to the strong side. Here we go. We're going to run action away from the strong side, and we're going to leak. Actually, we're going to leak this extra tight end up the sideline. So again, they love hitting their tight ends off of these weak side run action, play action passes. Okay. Russell Wilson also, like I was talking about, to me, he looks good. He looks good, especially doing what he does best, which is throwing the ball down the field. Okay. There was obviously a blown coverage there. He has quite a few of these, some beautifully placed balls down the sideline. And this is what he's, among the best at in the NFL, I would say. Correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus.
No, you are not wrong.
Okay, so I mean, he does this, right? So, and he has examples of this throwing outside the numbers, okay, with a lot of velocity. Okay, and they'll do it off of play action, they'll do it off of drop back, but either way, it's something that the Raiders, they're gonna have to structure their defense to defend outside the numbers. That's where he likes to hit, and that's where he's really deadly. Okay, so maybe it's another one. Yeah, here's another one. Yeah, outside the numbers to Cortland Sutton. Okay, and this is just an example also of Russell Wilson when he doesn't get what he likes at first. He has the ability still to move around a little bit, buy some time, wait for things to get open. He does like to hold the ball. It's a tendency of his that the Raiders are going to have to exploit. Here's another one to Jerry Jeudy, the lone contested catch that Jerry Jeudy has caught this year. As a, you know, anyways. Now, something that defenses have done so far this year that have been successful against Russell Wilson is what we call changing the post snap picture. Okay, look at that. Look at this defense. Look at the way that it's structured. It looks like we're single high, man to man coverage, pre snap. Now, post snap, what's going to happen is this corner is going to drop back into the deep half, and we are going to go ahead and get into a inverted cover two to the short side of the field. Okay, and what happens is now Russell Wilson puts his eyes down, he picks his eyes back up, and all of a sudden it's a too high defense. Middle of the field is open. It causes him to hold onto the ball for just a little bit of time. Okay, and he gets hit. Ends up being a success for the defense again because they are changing the post snap picture.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also a fantastic defense. Here, this is another defense doing a similar thing. This time they stay single high. They remain single high, but we're going to have the corner dropping back into the deep third. Okay, and it's just a strange look. It's not something that you see every single week. Russell Wilson, that's his first read, is over there where they're doing something funny. It's making him move around. He's going to hold on to the ball because he is so good at improvising. You have to sack him in those moments. And we're just going to see an opportunistic play
Mm-hmm.
here because, the majority of pocket passers in the NFL, they're going to step up and they're just going to throw it away or check it down right here. But Russell Wilson will try to escape out of the back of the pocket. Okay, something that the Seahawks did, changing the post-snap picture, is sending some simulated rushes, and this is just a nasty look right here. We got 5 on the defensive line. Okay, and we have a safety back here. We end up dropping 56, 52, end up dropping. The safety ends up coming completely free. They're blocking 2 guys with 4. Jamal Adams gets a free run at the quarterback. Somehow Russell Wilson gets that off. I don't even know how. Ill-advised. Okay, here's another way that they changed the post-snap picture. We got 4 on the defensive line. Okay, but number 10 is going to end up dropping. 57 inside linebacker is going to go ahead and blitz up the middle here. Again, gets a hit on the quarterback. Okay, some nasty looks. All right, that being said, you have to capitalize because in those moments, Russell Wilson is still capable of just putting the ball on the money, just making filthy throws. Okay, he's still that guy. All right, so whatever they're saying in the media about him, I know that this was ruled in incompletion. The guy didn't come down with his foot out, inbounds, but you still see Russell Wilson, who is a guy who's still capable, of doing stuff like this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't sleep on him, Raider Nation. I know that he's been getting a lot of down talk, but honestly, it's on his receivers, if anything, because he's been money from what I'm seeing on film.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think Russell's going to Russell. I think a lot with Russell is more about what you show is just changing the picture and how he reads things in the middle of the field. I mean, that's kind of his knock. I mean, people didn't want to bring that up until he started losing last year, but I mean, that's basically been his knock since his whole career is that if they can run the football and give him single high defenses, he could pick you apart. But when he plays it too high and has to see hit the middle of the field, I mean, his height comes into play. So, I mean, that's what they want to do. I mean, Patrick Graham had a great game plan against him a couple years ago with the Seahawks, so hopefully he can duplicate that. I mean, they didn't have that great of talent with the Giants when he did that, so he was able to kind of put him in a really really bad bind. He had a terrible game that game, so you definitely want to have that kind of duplicated. I mean, the defensive line with the Giants was it was okay, but having Chandler Jones and Max Crosby should be better to maybe try to keep him in the pocket, do more slow rushes. So we'll see how they adapt. I mean, they already played Kyler Murray, and they didn't do that very well. So we'll see how this goes, man.
Yeah,
I mean, they did well in the first half, but the second half they didn't do well at all. So hopefully they can put a whole 4 quarters together of stopping him. So
right. I mean, and Russell Wilson. I mean, he's definitely going to play in such a way where you will have to defend for 4 quarters against him. You know what I mean? Like he's never going to be like, okay, it's out the bag for me,
yeah,
right? Like he's going to keep on going till the end. So he's a great competitor to go against. But I would say the best quarterback that the Raiders defense has seen so far is going to be Russell Wilson going into
yeah,
this game.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I would say that. I mean, my quarterback rankings. I mean, I did have him pretty high still, so I would say that he is the best quarterback. I know some people say it's just a Herbert, but I still think Russ is still. I think he's still that guy until he's not that guy. You know what I mean? Like you just can't. You just even like a down year that he had, it wasn't really a down year for like most quarterbacks that have down years. So that's why I say that he's still dangerous. I think this offense, that has his little quirks, and got to decide what you want to do with this coaching, but he still could beat you. Like that's not a thing. If this game's close and he has the ball, you know, like he he's Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
He is a good chance he's going to get it done if he has the ball last and they got to go get a field goal or score a touchdown. So you don't want to be in that position where he's there and he has to do that because that's what happened in the Niners game, 10-5. They were playing ugly, and then he got a chance in the fourth quarter. It was 11-10. They win. So
yeah,
um, that's him. And I mean, he's been doing that for years. Did it with the Legion of Boom.
yeah.
You know,
And that Niners defense, incredible.
they did nasty. Yeah, no. Texas defense ain't that bad either, though. Either
No, but just I mean,
they ain't the Niners, but
Fred Warner, that is ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
after all the
It
other,
if it came out that Fred Warner is like an android, like he's like actually a machine, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't bat an eye. I'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense
yeah,
actually.
he's the ultimate linebacker, bro. Ultimate linebacker.
That makes no sense.
Yeah,
But like what I will say, a couple things that it didn't show in my breakdown. They really they run a ton of screens to the running back. It's like basically the same thing every single time. It's not very creative, but they just run it over and over and over again. So they're like, one of these is going to be a chunk. You know what I mean? They're just like playing the odds. So Raiders got to be ready for that. We'll see. How they call it and if they catch them off guard, whatever it is, because Patrick Graham likes to blitz a lot, and if they run that many screens, I could see a situation where they're not going to blitz as much. So uh, that's definitely going to keep the defense honest. The other thing to watch is, oh yeah, I talked about the drops from the wide receivers. So
yeah.
that's just another thing I just wanted to reiterate there. But let's jump into the defense now.
Okay.
I know that this is a new coaching staff, right?
Yeah. I saw a question from Kevin. He's asked if they play a lot of cover seven, and the answer is no. They don't. Maybe thought of let's don't know. I'm looking at, but that's because that's what the Titans did all last week. But it's a possibility. I mean, the Titans didn't run a lot of cover seven before they played the Raiders, so I mean, it's a possibility. But they play a lot of man. They play a lot of man. So um, let's go ahead and check this out. All right. There we go. All right, let's start off with this defensive line. This defensive line is just pretty nasty. All right, I mean they're pretty damn stout. So we'll see right here. I mean here they even don't even start with the defensive end. They got 4 defensive tackles, and they got Jones in there. Then they got another Jones, DJ Jones. They got Mike Purcell, and I forgot who 99 is. And you got Chubb. So there's 4 defensive backs. Sorry, 4 defensive tackles lined up here with Bradley Chubb. So if they when they come in, they start to run and kind of this bare front look, kind of see how they play, right? And you see 99, he's got a good fit. 97, 93, he's setting the edge. Chandler Jones, there's really nowhere for Jeff Wilson to go here, right? So they are very, very stout up front. And, one of the leaders is DJ Jones right here, number 97. This dude's just a beast. You see right here, former 49er, definitely a steal for the Broncos in free agency. He's just a beast. He's all over the field. But you also see Chandler Jones making that play too. You take it back here. See, Jones always setting the edge, and saying they got him lined up outside a lot. Even here with 42, right? He's still lined up and just everywhere. These guys are everywhere, and they rush to the football. So this is a great tackling team too. There's not a lot of missed tackles from these guys, unless they're going as Dameon Pierce, which I'll show in a second. But here's DJ Jones, like I said, as a pass rusher too. Inside, so this whoever the Raiders center is this week, I talked about this a little earlier. He better bring his Wheaties. He better eat his Wheaties that morning, because he has to face against DJ Jones lined up at nose tackle, making rushes like this, right? And it's constant from this defensive line, right? And it comes from all types of players, all different types of guys making plays. Here's Jimmy G doing his best. Darren Orlovsky, since we know Darren Orlovsky all week, he's doing his best Darren Orlovsky impression here. But you see Purcell. He beats the rush. He's right in his face. And there's Gregory and Purcell right in his face. And of course, he throws a pick 6, which I think is hilarious that he actually only got 2 points out of this instead of 7, because he threw a pick 6. What a play by Chubb. So you already see what the defensive line is looking like. They are a challenge. They could probably be the biggest challenge the Raiders had all year. They had to go against a tough defensive line last week. These guys are even better. You see Randy Gregory on this pass rush right here. Of course, he didn't get a chance to face Trent Williams. But you see with the jab step, the little kind of swim, just run him over, boom, sack, easy stuff. So this defensive line is nasty, man. It's going to be tough for these guys to try to make some plays. And you see Bradley Chubb, even against the run, he's a beast too. He has to worry about him as a pass rush. Look at him taking on the fullback, right? Shedding, tackle, right? All day. These guys stop the run like this pretty consistently, and they make plays after play after play. And here they are playing a crack toss against the Texans again, right? See, Gregory does a good job setting the edge, making him come back inside. And, of course, DJ Jones comes in and fills again and makes the tackle, right? So DJ Jones, like I said, is a nasty, nasty player. They're going to have to do something inside to stop him, or he's going to wreck this game, because he is a beast, right? A super underrated player in the NFL. So it's going to be tough. But you can run the football on these guys. So I know the Niners didn't, but the Texans were able to run the football. And I don't know if it was more just Dameon Pierce, but there are some big holes here, as you can see. So I look at this big hole that they got here. I know the Texans offensive line is a little bit better with Larry Tunsil and Kenyon Green, but you see how big this hole is, and they're able to get to the second level of these linebackers and get a big run here, right? And of course, I'm going to stand over Dameon Pierce here, but this dude's a beast. And you see right here, once again, and like the Texans, they run the same system that the Raiders, exactly. The Bills and the Giants run a little bit of a different variation. This is the same exact system that the Raiders run. So you see this Will Power. This is just an excellent run. But you see how the offensive line is doing work here. Right? There's a whole bunch of space here on this power run. Of course, this is a great run by Dameon Pierce, because this jab step and cut back inside and then breaking 4 tackles. But we got Josh Jacobs. He can do these things too, right? And, Josh Jacobs can break a lot of tackles and make some plays, and like I said, look at this big old hole they got here. And these are a lot of shotgun runs, if you're noticing, right? We're spreading them out. We're taking these guys out of the box, right? It's not like what the Niners are doing. They're lined up like that. We got a lot of shotgun runs, right? We get that little trap right here, a little trap on this play. And look at that hole that they're getting, right? Beautiful hole, and he's able to break some tackles and get a big run there. So you're able to run the football on these guys, right? It's just they have to come with the right scheme and doing the right things there. But one guy they got to avoid, I think they got to avoid Patrick Surtain, and then people are gonna be like, okay, well, Devontae Adams, you want to give him the football, but we'll talk about that in a second. But Patrick Surtain, he is a dog. I don't know no better way to explain this, right? Check this out, this rep right here, just flawless, right? Just the way he plays this, he basically runs the route for Ayuk, and then breaks it up, almost picks it off. Dude's just special, man. He's a special player. He's probably already one of the best corners in football. It's like just second year two. This dude is special. Let's watch this transition right here. He's lined up outside against George Kittle. So sometimes he's gonna be taking your best player that's lined up outside, right? He's on Debo, he's on Ayuk, whoever your best player is lined up outside. That's where Surtain is taking him, right? And like I said, they're in man, a lot of man, right? And you see that transition, how quick he's out of that break here, man. He's gonna break up this pass anyways if they throw it, because look how quick he is right there. He's already on there, right? I mean, this is an interception, but he's just all over the place. Watch this rep against Brandon Ayuk. Like I said, running the route for you, right? Just all over him, impress. Nowhere, nothing, right? He's just nasty, just a dog. But like I said, they got some weaknesses inside, and one guy is Josie Jewell. Okay, so the Raiders have to attack Josie Jewell because, like I said, they play a lot of man. Okay, so right here they're in cover two a little bit, but you still can get Josie Jewell lined up inside. You see George Kittle giving that work real quick. And the Raiders run a play like that, they run up those quick juke routes. You can get Josie Jewell lined up, and you can expose him, I believe. Right, so you got this one right here against George Kittle. He's just not athletic enough to guard anybody, and you can just attack him all day. And they have to attack him. This is not like me and BD talking about that. NFL's a game of matchups, man, and you got to attack their weak linebacker. And this is a play I like because this is post wheel. They call it peel, but the Raiders run stuff like this. So I mean, they got Debo Samuel here, but if you get Amir Abdullah back there, you can get this one-on-one. Like I said, they play a lot of man, right? So you're getting a man one-on-one matchup with Josie Jewell and Debo Samuel. And of course, Debo Samuel's going to win that every time. And it's a big play downfield for them, right? So you see that over time. Just like I said, a lot of man across the board there, and man across the board, and you're getting Josie Jewell lined up on whoever this is, right? It could be Brandon Bolden. I think he can't hold Brandon Bolden, right? But you get Abdullah, even Josh Jacobs, anybody like that, or you can mix it up. Get Devontae Adams in the backfield, anything you want to do, and get lined up on Josie Jewell, right? And also, like I said, everywhere else around on this team is not very strong. Okay, so you got Olamida, he's the other guy. Kareem Jackson, he's on the older end. Of course, there's Justin Simmons, who's a dog. But I think you can get a lot of these guys exposed because, like I said, they got man-to-man. So here we go. This, like I said, this is the same exact system as the Raiders run. So we got this play. The Raiders run this play. They call it goose, which is the two seams right here. And then, of course, the adjustment, right, which I think he chose wrong here because it's not single high, but he might have been confused. But it still makes it all right. And I think that's where Davis Mills is like, you're supposed to run a seam, but you're not. But you see how you can get exposed here with some of these routes inside, and you can just avoid Surtain and move these guys around like that and get some good matchups inside when they are in zone, right? And like in the middle of the field is open too, right? They leave the middle of the field open when they do go into cover two coverages like this. You see this, they're running like a dagger concept here, and Jimmy Garoppolo is able to anticipate this and hit it right there, right in the middle of the field. All right, so I mean, yeah, so while they have a strong player in the secondary, overall in the secondary, in my opinion, is not that great. They're not that awesome in the secondary, and I don't even know if that's just Simmons. I don't even know if he's playing right now, if he's hurt or anything, but I really didn't see him out there. So it's something they could expose is the middle of the field, and they could attack that all game, right? Either whether that's Josie Jewell or whether that's any linebacker they got, any of the guys inside, man, they got a chance to attack those guys and play really, really well against some of those players. So I think that they got a chance to move the football. But it's gonna be dependent on the line, man. I think the offensive line has to play a lot better against the pass in passing situations. Like I know people, a lot of people say that the line's good. Yeah, the line's pretty good on first and second down, right? I think they're playing well on those downs, and the Raiders are able to move the football. But as we saw last week, they're 1 for 12 on third down, and a lot of that is the offensive line. I mean, they don't have the offensive line to hold up when it is passing situations, when it's like we have to pass, right? And saw at the end of the game too last week. I mean, that's where most of the pressures were. Over in the fourth quarter, and that's what Alex Bars and those guys starting getting exposed. So, they're gonna have to kind of stay ahead of the sticks a little bit. I think they're gonna have to try to, if they want to run on first down, they can't give up like short yardage plays. And I saw Josh McDaniels talk about some of the stuff they do on first down. They're giving up 1.9 yards per play on first down. So they have to get some good plays on first down to kind of get these guys out of where they can just sit there and go after them. Oh, Simmons is on IR. That makes sense because I did not see him out there. So, like I said, after Surtain, man, that secondary is pretty weak. It's up front. The linebackers play well against the run, but if they are going to get some time, and they do get some time back there, I think Derek Carr can have a good game against these guys. All right, so we'll see though. But if they got to get some more shotgun runs, in my opinion. I think they're kind of getting sort of bland with the putting Jacob Johnson. And I know it worked last week against the Titans, but it's not going to work this week if you come in there and you put Johnson up back there with that fullback. They're going to put that bear front up there, and they're going to play the run really, really well. But the Texans, they're able to spread them out, and that's how they were able to run the football a little bit. And I think the Raiders, they have that blueprint. I mean, it's like I said, it's the same offense. They saw how they attacked them, and they could adjust to how they were attacking them. And I think they did that last week with the Titans a little bit too. So it'll be exciting to see what they do this week. But hopefully they have a good week. Jacob, sorry, Jacob, I got to get that right, man. It's week 4.
Here, real quick, they're
Yeah.
saying DJ Jones is out with a concussion.
Oh, he is? Oh, whew, okay, all right. Well, you ain't got to worry about DJ then.
Good looks beat Malik.
Appreciate that because he's a monster, bro. He's all over the tape. So that's a big loss for them. So I think they might be able to run the ball then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's encouraging.
That is encouraging. So, injuries happen. So it says he's questionable, so he might play. But, with how what happened yes, I am at the Grand Chateau. But if he plays, that would be a big deal. But with how concussions are with Tua, I don't expect anybody who had concussions last week to play. I don't think they're gonna try to push that. The Tua thing is putting everybody on high alert with concussions right now. So
I wouldn't be surprised if Nate Hobbs gets held out, honestly, after that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you're right. I mean, Hunter Renfrow hasn't come back either.
Right.
So that's super crazy. That's pretty interesting. So we got any questions here? So who's the starting 5? What do you mean by that? Starting 5 offensive line? I think it's Bars, and I think you're gonna go Miller, Bars, James, Parham, and Illuminor, maybe. I don't know. Who knows, man? I don't know. As I say, I don't know if Simpson was in trouble last week. I don't know if it's oh yeah, your cub. My bad. Your cub. I said I gotta get that right, but
I don't know.
They gotta get that right. I was gonna say Johnson, bro. Save me some time. All right. Do we actually run the ball tomorrow? I hope so. I hope they try to find a way to run the ball. It depends, because if the Broncos come out and run too high like everybody else does, man, they got to run the ball. But they got to spread teams out to run the ball too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting what you were talking about with the personnel stuff. Like don't get into a big personnel grouping to run the ball because they have a personnel grouping to match that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Don't even worry about it. Like they've prepared, they've practiced, they've put all that stuff in. Don't even let them get into that personnel grouping. It's just a waste. Like all that time that it was in practice, let it be a waste. Okay, I agree. Don't. Of course, Josh McDaniels is going to get into plenty of 21 personnel. Let's be honest. But the other thing about getting the linebackers matched up. Yes, let's see Amir Abdullah like finally do something here.
Yeah. I see something about T. Billy. I don't know if T. Billy's a good play after Mac Hollins got his 158. So we'll see. I think
Right.
Hollins, he put that spot on lock right now. Maybe over Keelan Cole. I don't know. I think Keelan Cole's kind of slack guy. I thought he played okay. Um, but man, so it'll be interesting. What are the questions we got here? Any
Like, what
defensive
do you think about
question?
this matchup here?
Adams. Yeah, I still think if you have that 1-on-1, though, I think you got to attack him because, even with Surtain, I think Surtain, he can be beat. I mean, there's no Del Reeves in the NFL right now. He had some great reps, but I think, what's his name? Devontae Adams is different, man. He's a different type of route runner. He's probably watching Patrick Surtain right now as we speak and learning all his moves and how he breaks in the football and stuff, and going to try to do the opposite. So
Yeah.
he's gonna be ready for that. But I do expect some of that. All right, I think it's a question for you. Do you think Diablo's dropping performances related to giving him the green dot this season?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot going on in his head. His eyes are everywhere. He's just, there's too much information for sure. I think they need to simplify something for him. But that being said, is it going to be Jaron Brown who has the green dot because Denzel Perriman's been banged up a lot? So I don't know. But either way, Denzel Perriman being there, I think is going to help out the situation in the linebacker core for sure.
All right, let's get you another defensive one, bro, and I'll get two more offense, and we'll get out of here. So we're getting guys back who were injured in week 1, James and Perryman. Well, what will that make a positive impact?
Oh, Andre James.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Trayvon Merrick, I think, is coming back too. But yeah, Denzel Perriman has been the biggest loss by far. Just with how many plays the linebackers were giving up, I don't think Denzel Perriman was going to be perfect, but he was going to at least make some plays. Let's be honest. Like, come on, is he just going to all of a sudden like not make any plays?
yeah,
So we are definitely missing that at the linebacker position. These guys are playing the run great, but nothing against the pass. Not even like a big hit to like knock a ball loose or something. You know what I mean? Just anything, please.
yeah.
So Denzel Perriman coming back, we've been missing him big time, big time. And then we'll see about Trayvon Merrick. I don't know.
A couple of offensive questions. How do I feel about McDaniels as a play caller? I thought he called a good game last week. I honestly did. I thought he called a good game last week. Even if you go watch the Carfax, you see, I mean, there was a lot of good plays in there. But one thing that came up that I was talking about last week was the spacing. Like when Waller got hit over the middle. I mean, he brought Keelan Cole to him and brought that safety over. So I mean, they got to fix up that spacing. They were having a lot of spacing issues last week. And he got asked that question. I mean, Daniel said that usually he does pretty good with the spacing, but we even saw that with Waller, stepping in the way of the Adams play. Right, there's a little bit of spacing as well on that. So they got to work on that spacing, in my opinion. So let me see. What else we got? Spacing was an issue with the offense, even with exactly. And then
We're seeing this one here. He's saying if Perriman is back, do you think we'll see three linebackers on the field? Will we see more big nickel? First of all, appreciate it, man. Thanks for the donation to the channel. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see actual like base 4-3. We haven't seen that since Denzel Perryman went out. I imagine, yeah, that's because Denzel Perryman wasn't there. So if the Raiders need to get into an even front and they want to stop the run, they've been getting into the big nickel with three safeties on the field since Denzel Perryman went out. So I think they'll be able to go back and forth between either of those position groupings now that Denzel Perryman's active.
So let's see this last because this is basically two part. So Waller split out wide and Adams in the slot this week. And do you think they'll try to bracket Adams and Waller like the Titans? I don't think they're going to try to bracket, in my opinion. I think they're really confident in Surtain. I think they're going to put Surtain out there, and they're confident in his skill level that he might even follow him. Right? I think he might follow him inside. If they moved him inside, they might follow him inside. because they really believe in Surtain. Surtain's out there on an island by himself. He's not getting a lot of help. You guys kind of saw that on the tape. He's not. I mean, they're kind of leaning on the other side with the single high safety. They're not really, they're putting him out on an island because they believe what he can do. So I don't think it's going to change up as much. A corner like him, he's probably going to request it a little bit. Like, hey, like sure, give me a bracket, but it's not like the Titans. The Titans didn't have the corners at all that could hang with him one-on-one. They had no
Right.
chance, right? And that's why he's still beating their double teams like crazy a little bit last week because they didn't have anybody to stop him. So they try to bracket though this game. I don't know if they have the safeties too to do that. I know Kareem Jackson is good, but Kevin Byard is a beast, right? So he was able to be a good player for the bracket and have a good understanding and make those decisions. So it's gonna be tough for them to bracket this week. And I don't think they really haven't been showing a lot of those cover 7 coverages in my opinion. It's either cover 1, like or like a not even like they're not even doing anything like cover 1 cross or anything like that. I mean it's just cover 1 rat or it's or they're doing cover 2 a couple times, but they were playing some run heavy teams, so who knows? I mean the Raiders have been having a little issues with cover 2, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean that's what the entire NFL is running. Lovey Smith coming back right at the right time. My goodness.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good though. I see some Simpson questions. You guys know how I feel about that. I don't know what's going on with there. I don't know. So, but hopefully Alex Bars plays better this week. I doubt it, but
Oh,
yeah.
here we go. One more. Do we got time for this?
Honest
Here.
take. Honest take on Chandler signing.
Yeah. So I've said it on the channel before. Chandler Jones is here to mentor Max Crosby so that Max Crosby can play until he's 35 years old, like Chandler Jones, right? That's the point of Chandler Jones being here. Okay, Chandler Jones is not going to be able to match Max Crosby's effort and production and all the things that he does for 4 quarters. Okay, come on, he's almost 10 years older than him, right? So, I'm not shocked. Like I watched Chandler Jones last year, right? There was one huge game that he had. Remember, like guys, like he went a lot of games without sacks. So this is not normal, or this is not like outside of the norm right here for Chandler Jones right here, like based off of like the last year's tape that we watched. I know people kept on asking me for a Chandler Jones breakdown, and I really didn't want to come across as a hater. You know what I mean? So I just didn't do anything. So I just didn't do it. So, but Chandler Jones, I think he's playing fine. Out of all the defensive linemen, outside of Max Crosby, he's making the next most plays. But it's a big drop off. Don't get me wrong. It's a like Max Crosby's like way far ahead of everyone else, right? And then it's the corners, and then it's Abram, right? And but then like Chandler Jones is the first defensive lineman that's up next. So the rest of the defensive line is like if Chandler Jones is playing poorly to you, which he's not, because he's not like it's not because Yannick Ngakoue would get a sack, but he would also like give up contain like 4 times and allow first downs like over and over and over again, and just like give up, just completely
Lay on
get
the
blasted.
ground.
Yeah, lay on the ground, get blasted out of a hole, give up touchdown runs, huge gains. Like he was giving up so many plays in his effort to like I guess get after the quarterback, right? Whereas Chandler Jones is just being solid, like he's doing his job. He's not allowing these huge gashes to happen. So Chandler Jones is playing fine. He's not making a huge impact. He's not making all these splash plays. I understand why that's disappointing,
Yeah.
but he's not a liability out there. Okay, like Diablo. Sorry.
Yeah, he's just I can see from the fan perspective, they expect him to kind of make some kind of impact, but that's why I thought he was always brought in here to be the solid player, the complement. He's a complement to Crosby, right? But yeah, I mean, guys like Kuntz, those type of guys, I think they do need to get a better rotation going though. But Farrell's, we're talking about he's doing his push-ups, man. He's the military man. He's already, you know, he's the first guy up. It's clean. Do your job. He makes that right drop. He makes the drop right. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, they'll definitely have a rotation going. I'm not too worried about it, honestly.
All right, man. I think we're good, dude. I think that's good for everything. Any other last thoughts, Speedy,
No,
or
that's it.
anything?
Enjoy Las Vegas. Give us some good content from
Also,
Allegiant Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy, man. Hopefully, the Raiders get this dub tomorrow.
yeah. Hopefully, it's not negative. It's not a dire uh, locker room because if they start 0-4, man, it's gonna be ugly in there. They're gonna be pissed. They're
Right.
gonna be upset. There's gonna be some upset dudes in there. So hopefully they go out there and get this win in front of the home team. Hopefully they don't go up 20-0 and blow it again in front of the home crowd. So you know, let's hope they pick it up and take this game serious and just execute, man. That's what they gotta do. All right. Let's
All
get out
right.
of here, man. Make sure you guys subscribe. Thank you guys for coming in. I know it's a Saturday night. Still got 133 listeners. So we really appreciate you guys. We'll go watch some Pac-12 after dark, I guess, and enjoy.
Yep. I'll let
Peace.